someone say too hot to handle? Because the Cavinder Twins aren't just playing the game, they're flipping the entire sports world on its head. From viral TikToks to power moves in the NCAA, Haley and Hanna Cavinder have taken the internet by storm, and they're not slowing down. It all began in Fresno, California. Two blonde, fierce competitors from Arizona laced up for Fresno State and quickly became more than just scorers. They became a movement. Haley, the more dominant scorer, and Hanna, the relentless floor general, were already turning heads on the court. But what they did off the court? That's what set them apart. While most college athletes were grinding behind the scenes, the Cavinders were mastering social media. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, they had it all covered. Dance trends? Check. Workout routines? Check. Personality-driven content that made people want to know them, not just watch them? Double check. And then, boom. NIL. The second the NCAA opened the door for athletes to profit off their name, image, and likeness, the Cavinder Twins busted through like it was a WWE entrance. Within minutes of the rule change, they inked major deals. Boost Mobile, 6-Star Nutrition, Champs Sports. The partnerships rolled in like a tidal wave. In a matter of days, they went from college athletes to million-dollar moguls. Their NIL earnings soared into the 7 figures. And suddenly everyone wanted to know, who are these girls? Cue the drama. Because while fans were celebrating this new era of athlete empowerment, others weren't having it. Critics started firing shots. Some subtle, some not. They're just influencers in jerseys. They care more about clout than championships. TikTok stars pretending to be hoopers. But the Cavinders weren't fazed. If anything, it fueled them. Every time someone questioned their motives, they clapped back with more content, more workouts, and more wins. At Miami, Haley put up solid numbers, led the team in scoring, and helped push them to an Elite 8. And yet, the whispers continued. Then came the plot twist no one expected. WWE. That's right. Instead of declaring for the WNBA, the Cavinders made headlines, again, by signing with World Wrestling Entertainment. They leaned into the entertainment industry with the same energy they brought to basketball. Promo reels, dramatic entrances, and performance center clips replaced highlight reels. Some fans were hyped, others, outraged. See? Told you they weren't real hoopers. They sold out. But once again, the Cavinders flipped the script. Because just when people thought they were gone for good, Haley announced her return to college basketball. This time, at TCU. And just like that, the storyline shifted again. Now people weren't just questioning their motivations, they were questioning their legacy. Was Haley coming back to prove she's still a baller? Or was this just another play for attention? Let's be real. The Cavinders live in controversy, and that's exactly why they're winning. Episode 2. The Conversation. Haley's decision to return reignited every single conversation about who the Cavinder Twins really are. Are they hoopers who happen to go viral? Or influencers who can shoot a basketball? No matter where you stand, the impact is undeniable. They didn't just make history in NIL, they rewrote it. They were the first female college athletes to pull in over $1 million in sponsorships, all while staying full-time students. They proved you could be marketable, visible, and powerful without being drafted. And don't get it twisted. They put in work. Haley averaged 12.2 points per game at Miami, shot over 40% from the field, and consistently delivered in high-pressure moments. Hanna, while not always the stat leader, brought intensity and energy every time she hit the floor. But numbers were never the whole story. The Cavinders were never just playing basketball. They were playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. And now, the board has completely changed. Enter the next hook in the saga. The comparison game. Caitlin Clark is the face of college hoops right now, dropping 40-point games and filling arenas. Angel Reese? The Bayou Barbie is as dominant in the paint as she is in front of a camera. Juju Watkins is already being called the future. So where do the Cavinders fit? They're not the most dominant players, but they are the most recognized. Their online following dwarfs nearly everyone else in the NCAA. Their branding, impeccable. Their hustle, unmatched. And that's what makes them so polarizing. Because while the world debates what it means to be a serious athlete, the Cavinder Twins are asking a different question. Why not both? Why can't you build a brand and ball out? Why can't you do a TikTok at noon and drop 20 points at 7 p.m.? Why can't you be a whole damn enterprise? The answer? You can. And they're proof. But the drama doesn't stop there. Because behind the glitz, glam, and NIL money lies a deeper tension. The fear that women's basketball might lose its purity to profit. Some coaches are worried, some players are frustrated, some fans are just straight up mad. But here's the truth. The Cavinders didn't break the game. They exposed it. They showed that women's sports have value, that audiences will show up if you give them something to watch and someone to connect with. And they didn't wait for the WNBA to recognize them. They built their own stage. Episode 3. The Blueprint. Let's not ignore what the Cavinder Twins really represent. A brand new playbook. In an era where college athletes used to just wait for the draft, hope for endorsement deals, and stay out of the spotlight, the Cavinders went full throttle in the opposite direction. They turned their identities into a business. Their twin dynamic? Marketable gold. Their work ethic? Never in question. Whether they're in the gym at dawn or in front of a ring light by night, the grind is real. Young athletes are watching. The next generation isn't just learning how to run drills. They're learning how to build a brand. Content creation, business management, digital marketing. This is now part of the athlete's toolkit. And guess who made that blueprint visible? Haley and Hanna Cavinder. Their moves are sparking a wave. Female athletes across sports are now thinking differently, asking questions their predecessors never thought to ask. What's my brand worth? Who do I want to be after the game ends? Why can't I control the narrative now? And schools. They're starting to catch up too. Universities are investing in media training, NIL strategy, and athlete-led platforms. They're realizing that what the Cavinders did isn't a fluke, it's the future. But here's the spicy part. Not everyone is ready for this evolution. There are still powerful people in sports, coaches, execs, agents, who want athletes to stay in their lane. Be humble, be quiet, be grateful. The Cavinders said no. They said yes to agency, yes to business, yes to being more than athletes. And the pushback? It's still coming. The headlines still drip with shade. Are the Cavinders ruining the sanctity of the game? Have we created social media monsters? Will NIL destroy college sports? But what's being missed is the revolution happening right in front of us. Because this isn't destruction, it's evolution. And if you're not evolving, you're getting left behind. Conclusion: the legacy. So here we are. The game has changed, the internet is still buzzing, and the Cavinder Twins are smack in the middle of it all. They're not perfect, they're not the GOATs, but they are, without a doubt, game changers. They've forced a conversation that needed to happen. One about women, money, sports, power, and the right to be more than just what the scoreboard says. As Haley returns to the hardwood and Hanna continues to explore her empire, we're all watching. Whether to cheer or to critique, we can't look away. Because love them or hate them, the Cavinders are too hot to handle. And the flame? It's just getting started. But wait, it gets even hotter. What happens when the world stops underestimating them and they start over-delivering? When Haley Cavinder made her surprise announcement that she was returning to college basketball, this time with TCU, jaws hit the floor. Nobody saw it coming, not even the insiders. And just like that, the twins who had moved on were suddenly back in the headlines. But something was different this time. Because Hanna? She wasn't going with her. And in that moment, the brand that was built on being identical, inseparable, and twin-powered suddenly looked divided. Rumors exploded online. Was there drama? A split? Or had the Cavinders pulled off another calculated move? One twin back on the hardwood, the other fully locked in on media domination? Some fans panicked, others praised them. But all eyes were glued to the Cavinders once again. One tweet summed it up perfectly. This isn't a breakup. It's a double play. Hanna runs media. Haley runs the league. Strategy. And when you look at it from that angle, it's genius. Haley chasing her WNBA dreams. Hanna steering the empire. Together, covering every angle of sports, media, and culture. But not everyone was impressed. Critics came out swinging. A now viral ESPN panel labeled them branding-first athletes and called their influence on women's sports concerning. One analyst didn't hold back. They're influencers in basketball jerseys. And now we've got to pretend that's okay? The Cavinder fans clapped back instantly. TikTok, X, YouTube, the replies were savage. But the criticism stuck. Because even now, with one twin back on the court, there's still a question swirling through every locker room, every podcast, every front office. Are the Cavinders redefining what it means to be an athlete, or diluting it? And while the sports world debated, the Cavinder Twins stayed silent. They didn't respond to the backlash. They didn't explain anything. They posted a photo in matching outfits, captioned with just one word: unfinished. That one word sent the internet into a tailspin. Are they reuniting? WNBA duo incoming? Unfinished business? Or unfinished branding? Speculation took over. And that's exactly what they wanted. Because in the world the Cavinders live in, mystery equals engagement. And controversy? That's currency. Meanwhile, Haley's return to the court isn't just about proving people wrong. It's a statement. She could have stayed gone, focused on deals, stuck to podcasting and brand partnerships. But she came back to compete, to show that she's not just a pretty face, she's a hooper. And now, WNBA. Scouts are watching closely. If she performs at TCU, she's a legit draft prospect. If she elevates the team, even better. The league can't ignore her forever. And that puts the WNBA in a tough spot. Because for years, they've been starving for media attention. But the second someone brings a little too much of it, they hesitate. Haley Cavinder could be the biggest PR opportunity the league has ever seen, or the biggest controversy. Some execs love the idea. Jerseys flying off the shelves, highlight clips going viral, every media outlet covering the league. Others, not so much. They don't want a social media circus. They want rings, statistics, fundamentals. But here's the catch. Those things aren't enough anymore. In this new era, you can't just play the game. You have to sell it too. And nobody sells like the Cavinders. The Twins have already signed brand deals most WNBA vets could only dream of. Boost Mobile, WWE, Champs Sports. And now, a podcast empire in the making. Every step they take is a headline. Every move is a message. And here's the wild part. They're just getting started. At 23, they've turned a college basketball career into a full-fledged media business. Athlete, influencer, entrepreneur, mogul. They didn't pick one lane, they built the whole freeway. But while the business grows, the pressure does too. Because with every new success, the spotlight gets hotter. The critics get louder. The stakes get higher. And now, everyone's asking the same question. What happens when the Cavinders finally collide with the WNBA? Will they embrace her? Market her? Build around her? Or will they flinch, afraid she's too much for the league to handle? Because Haley's not walking into the draft alone. She's bringing a brand, a following, a narrative. And if the league isn't ready to evolve, it might just get left behind. But the real story isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about what the Cavinders represent. A new kind of athlete. A new kind of fame. A new kind of power. Because this generation, they don't want to be just good at the game. They want to own their story, control their platform, monetize their moments. The Cavinders didn't break the rules. They rewrote the playbook. So now, as Haley prepares for her return and Hanna builds the brand behind the scenes, the sports world watches in suspense. Will the WNBA lean into the storm? Will they gamble on the viral twin who already conquered TikTok and NIL? Or will they play it safe and watch the Cavinders build something bigger without them? Because here's what nobody wants to admit. The Cavinders don't need the WNBA. But the WNBA might just need the Cavinders. And as that reality sets in, one thing is certain. They're still too hot to handle. And this story, it's far from over.